Welcome everybody to this in-class assignment number 2, which is our basic photo corrections. In this video, we're going to be understanding image resolution, size and straightening, straightening and cropping an image, adjusting tonal range of the image, the spot healing brush tool to repair parts of the image. We're going to use the content aware patch tool to remove or replace objects. We're going to use the clone stamp tool to touch up areas. We're going to remove digital artifacts from an image. We're going to apply the Smart Sharpen filter to finish retouching photos. So let's begin. Everybody should have downloaded this file from the assignment page and opened it up through Photoshop, okay? So when you get to your home screen, you'll just click open and find it and navigate it to your desktop and then open the file from there. Okay, I already did that. So let's get started. The first thing I want to do is I want to adjust my resolution. So I'm going to go up to image size, and right here in my dialog box, I can see that the width is 8, the height is 6, and the resolution is 72. So I like the width and height. I think that that's okay. But the resolution is a little too low resolution for any sort of printing purposes. It'll come out really pixelated and the image won't be super sharp and crisp, which is what we want. So I am going to click here and then type in 200, okay? And then I'm just going to click OK. And what has happened, Photoshop has taken the existing pixels and then in the spots that Photoshop has to create, because from 72 pixels per inch we go to 200 pixels per inch, there's a lot of space that Photoshop has to create. So they use the pixels that are already there and fill in the blanks that way. So it's pretty cool what Photoshop can do, transforming a low resolution image into a high resolution image very, very quickly. Imagine if we tried to do that on our own with pixels. It would take forever. Anyways, moving forward. Now that we've adjusted the resolution, we can straighten and crop with the crop tool, okay? So cropping deletes pixels, okay? So when we crop, we delete pixels. And we can straighten with the crop tool. Okay, so when I click on the crop tool right here, I see a cropping shield, and that is this right here. It's this grid, that's our cropping shield. And that shows the selection that I want to keep and the selection that I want to crop, okay? So straightening the image, if we go up to our options bar and I click straighten, then I met with this icon with this plus sign and what looks like a rectangle with some half circles and some lines. I am going to click the upper corner and I'm going to establish that this is my line. Okay, that's establishing the vertical line at the top. Okay. So I like that. That's my top line. And now I'm going to adjust my cropping shield to remove the rest of the image. It's okay if you crop out some of this. It's just rocks, so it shouldn't affect the overall composition. And when we like what we have, we'll click the check mark. So now we can check our dimensions again. So we'll go to image size. We're at 7.11 and 5.52. Okay, so I want to bring that back up to 8 and 6. So it's giving me 8 and 6.211. That's fine, but if I really wanted it to be 8 by 6, I could remove this locking icon, and then I can just type in 6. Okay, and then I'll click OK. And now we want to save our work. So I'll just go up to File, I'll click Save, and it's saving into the Creative Cloud, okay? So now that we've saved our work, we've adjusted, we've cropped, let's duplicate the file. So I'm gonna go over here, I'm going to remove my locking icon, And then I'm going to double click and I'm going to find duplicate layer. Okay. And then I'm going to rename the layer archive photo. Okay. And I'm going to click OK. And then I'm going to move the archive photo underneath layer 0. Okay. And I'm just going to turn it off. Because I want it there, but I don't want it to interfere with anything else. Okay, so I have it, but the eyeball's turned off. So now that we have our layer 0, we have an archive photo, we are ready to adjust the color and tone. The first thing that I want to do is I want to adjust the curves. And the way that I do that is I go into adjustments. So I'll go to image. Excuse me, I'm going to click on the layer that I want to work on, and I'll go to image, adjustments, curves, and I will then select the white point tool. The white point tool establishes the high key point, okay, so the lightest color in the entire composition. That is what the white point tool establishes, okay? So I'm going to move my dialog box and I am going to click right in here, okay? I could kind of click around the area and find something that I like. I like that, okay? And sometimes just clicking the white point tool in curves is enough to adjust the color cast of an image. But in this image, we need a levels adjustment as well to fine tune the tone, okay? So in the curves dialog box, we'll click OK. And now we can go into levels. So I'm just gonna go to my properties panel and click on adjustments. And then I'm going to click on levels. I did that really quick, so I'll do it again. I'll click on levels. Okay, so now I have my histogram, I have my my point tools, but what I really want is my triangles. Okay, so my left triangle establishes the darkest point in the composition. Okay, my right triangle establishes the lightest tone in the entire composition. And the middle triangle establishes the most middle tones in the entire composition, okay? So what I want to do is I want to drag the left triangle under the histogram where black is most profound, okay? So it's the most profound right here. And I'm just going to reduce it just a little bit, like right where it starts to peak, right up here in the histogram. Okay, that's where I want it to be. Okay, and now I'll drag my middle tone around to the value of 90. Okay, just to bring out my middle tones. Okay, and that looks really good. It's the image is a lot warmer. It's a lot sharper and crisper because we've worked with our levels and our curves. Okay, so now that we have our levels, we have our curves, we are ready to merge these layers so that the file is smaller, and also now that we've established that we like these filters, these levels, we can just bring it all into layer 0. Okay, so we have two ways that we can go about this. We can we'll go to our layers. We can flatten image, or we can merge visible. Flatten image merges the layers so you cannot edit the layers individually anymore. So all of the layers in the layers panel will flatten, okay? And flattening makes the file smaller, and you can make changes to the entire image at once, okay? Merge visible only merges the layers with the eyeball icon on, okay? So if I go over to my layers panel, I've got layer 0 icon on, eyeball icon on. I've got levels 1 and levels 2 eyeball icon on. Okay? So only these three layers will merge because those are the ones that are visible. Because the archive photo's eyeball is off, it is invisible, so it will not merge. Okay? So we'll go up to layer, merge visible. Okay, so now we have our levels 2, we can rename that, and our archive photo. Okay, so now we have we've merged our levels into our active image that we're working on. We're ready to use the spot healing brush tool to remove the creases or the lines. Okay, there are obvious creases and lines in this composition, in this image, and we want to remove that with the spot healing brush tool. Okay, because the spot healing brush tool removes creases or lines. This tool is great for removing imperfections. Okay, so it removes creases or lines and it removes imperfections. Okay, the way it does that is it samples pixels around the area that you're selecting or that you're healing and matches the texture, lightening, and shading of the sampled pixels to the pixels being healed. Okay, so let's zoom in to see the imperfection. And I've got my zoom plus on. Just going to zoom in so I can really see that line. And now I can select the spot healing brush tool, which for me is hidden underneath the patch tool. So I'll click on this arrow. I'll click spot healing brush tool. Okay. And in the options bar, I'm going to click on the brush size. And I want to make sure that it's at a 100% hardness, which it is, and at a 25% pixel diameter. So I'm just going to reduce that to around 25. Okay, I want to make sure content aware is selected, and it is. Okay, so now in the image window, I can drag the spot healing brush tool across from the beginning side of the blemish to the end of the blemish. Okay, so I'm zoomed in just so you can really see the magic. Okay, so I'm just going to, and the crease is gone. Okay, pretty amazing stuff. So I'm just going to do that again. Okay. See a little bit there, a little bit here. So now that we've worked with the spot healing brush tool and we've removed lines, we're ready for the content aware patch tool. Okay, the content aware patch tool is hidden right now under the spot healing brush tool. We'll click on the patch tool. The content aware patch tool removes unwanted objects and elements from the image. In this image, we're going to remove the unwanted marker mark. Okay, so this mark right here. We want to make sure that we're in content aware mode. In content aware mode, the patch tool creates almost seamless blending with the nearby content. Okay, so in the options bar, we want to choose content aware. Okay, we could choose normal. We want to choose content aware. And we want to make sure sample all layers is selected, and it is. We want to type 4 in the structure. Okay, this is our structure. The structure indicates how close the patch mimics the content. 1 would be the loosest, while 7 would be the most strict. Okay, so 1 would be loosest, 7 most strict, and we want to be right in the middle with 4. Okay, and I'm going to zoom in just for accuracy. Grab my patch tool, make sure everything is still good. And I'm just going to draw as close as I can around this unwanted marker mark, okay? And then I'm going to click and I'm going to drag downwards towards my right. And then I'm going to release. Okay. And then I'll Command or Control D to deselect. Then I'll zoom out. And now the unwanted marker mark is gone. Okay. The patch tool is really, really great for if you're out if you're out on a family vacation and you take a really great family photo and there's an unrelated person in the background. The patch tool is great for removing that element out of the composition. Okay. So now that we've used the content aware patch tool, we've removed the marker mark from our composition. We're ready to use the clone stamp tool to blend the shadow and to kind of create a more smooth transition. There's some repetition here and here, and we want to use the clone stamp tool to kind of minimize that and maybe kind of round out this right here. Okay. So the clone stamp tool uses pixels from one area of an image to replace pixels in another. You can remove unwanted objects and fill in missing areas with the clone stamp tool. So we're going to blend with the clone stamp tool to smooth out the irregularities from the patch tool. So we'll grab the clone stamp tool, and it's shaped like a stamp. We'll just click that. And we want to go up in our brush panel. We want around a 30 pixel brush. We want a 30% hardness. We want to make sure that the aligned is clicked. Okay. So now we want to find an area to copy. So I'm going to copy this area right here because it's right next to the repetitive element. So I'm just going to hover right here. I'm going to click Alt or Option, and then I'm going to click to sample. Okay. And now I can move my copy over, click and smooth that out. Okay. I could also click and drag to smooth it out as well. All right. So Option, click. I'll just smooth that out. Okay. I'm going to do this over here with the shadow. So I'll Option or Alt click, and then I'll just smooth out that kind of abrupt line right there. And I'll smooth out that kind of sharp edge right there. Okay. And then I will Command minus to zoom out. And now I have a seamless blending from the removal of the unwanted mark. Okay. So now I want to save my work. I'm going to save it to the Cloud Documents as a Photoshop document. I'm going to save it in Copper Mountain College, GA1 Fall 2024. I'll click Save. So in a recap, we have lightened the image, we've removed the lines or creases, and we have removed unwanted elements. Now we're ready to sharpen the image. It's our last task. So I'm going to zoom in. There aren't a lot of artifacts in this image, but if there were, this is how we would remove them. A lot of times when we retouch old photos, there are artifacts that exist, and this is a way to remove them. So we'll go to Filter, Noise, Dust and Scratches. We want to make sure the radius is at 1. We want to make sure the threshold is at 0, and we'll click OK. The threshold value determines how dissimilar the pixels should be before they are eliminated. Okay? And the radius value determines the size of the area searched for dissimilar pixels. Okay? The default values are great for tiny dots of color that this image has here and there. So we'll zoom out, and we've removed any of those really tiny pixels that don't match the surrounding pixels, okay? And now finally, we're ready to sharpen. So we'll go to Filter, Sharpen, Smart Sharpen. Okay, in our Smart Sharpen dialog box, we want to make sure Preview is selected. Now we can see the effects of the settings that we adjust in the image window. And this is the image window right here. We can zoom out, we can zoom in. So in the Smart Sharpen dialog box, we want to look at the remove window. Okay, right now lens blur is selected, which is what we want. But if we click on it, we see Gaussian blur, lens blur, and motion blur. Lens blur creates finer sharpening of detail and reduces sharpening halos. Gaussian blur increases contrast along edges of an image, and motion blur reduces the effects of camera or subject movement when the photo was taken. So we're going to click lens blur, and we're going to drag the lens blur amount to about 60%. Okay, and that's going to sharpen the image. We're going to click OK. Now we're ready to save our work. I'm going to save in the Creative Cloud, and now I'm ready to save a copy on my computer, on my desktop, as either a JPEG or a PNG. Okay, I'll click Save. I'll click OK. So now on my desktop, I have my PNG that I'm going to turn in through the Canvas assignment page. Okay? Thank you so much for your time, guys. I look forward to seeing your work. Have a beautiful rest of your day. Bye.